In today's video, I'm going to teach you the top 3 secrets to playing lockdown man coverage defense in college football 25. Now, you've probably played against some players online and you're just wondering, why is their man coverage so much better than mine? How is it that their man coverage sticks to my receivers like glue, but yet when I play man coverage, my defenders get cooked? Well, the answer to this question is, these guys know the secrets to playing elite man coverage defense that you don't. But after watching this video, I can promise you, your man coverage defense is going to be improved 1,000 times. And if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop me a like on the video. So, the first secret tip we're going to cover is the secrets of shading your man coverage defense. Now, 9 out of 10 players, they don't know how to shade their defense properly. And in fact, they don't even know that you can shade your defense two different ways every play. Most players only realize you can shade your coverage one way, but it's actually 2. So let me break down what I mean. So when you're running your man coverage defense, you can run many different variations. You can run cover 2 man, cover 1 man, or even a cover 0 blitz. Now we'll get into different examples of the best types of man coverage later in the video once we cover how to shade properly. But just know, you can use these tips from any playbook, although I would recommend using formations with multiple DBs like the dime 2-3 odd for better man coverage. So for this example, we pick cover 2 man to run on defense, and we're going to go over the best way to shade your coverage, shading twice instead of just once. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the coverage audible, which is triangle or Y, and that's going to bring up your coverage adjustment menu. You can see if you flick up on the right analog stick, that will shade over the top. To the left, that's to the inside. To the right is outside, and down is underneath. Now, essentially what over the top does is it will actually cancel the press animation. So if you did press your coverage and you shade over the top, you will see you're not going to get any press animations, which, can be okay. But that's just really supposed to be used so you don't get beat over the top if maybe you're playing man coverage against fast receivers, or maybe you didn't have safety protection over the top. But since we have safety protection over the top of the 2 deep zones, we don't need to worry about that. So what I tend to do is I like to shade underneath. To shade underneath, you hit the triangle Y and then down on the right analog stick. That is going to basically make your players play more aggressive. They're going to try to jump routes because they have a trail technique. So like right here, we shaded our coverage underneath. And, we're going up against bench, which is, a good man-to-man beater typically because you have corners and outs. You can see we did have a trail technique, but we got beat. And the reason why is we only shaded once. Yes, we were able to have a trail technique, but that was a perfect pass over the top. It was able to beat us. So what you're going to want to do is after you shade underneath, then you're going to want to shade inside or out. So we first shade underneath, and then we have the ability to still get the underneath trail technique, but shade it inside or out. So like here, if you're getting beat by corner routes or outs, whips, any sort of out breaking route, obviously you're going to want to shade your coverage to the outside. So in this case, we're going to shade to the outside. Now, guys, you'll notice when we did that, the DBs, literally, if you pay close attention, they moved a hair. So let's just look at the difference here. You can see now that corner is breaking to the outside, and we get a lot better coverage. So you guys can see in this example, not only did we have the aggressive trail technique, but we were leveraging with our coverage on the outside shoulder, meaning that we were in perfect position to break up this corner route. It had no chance. What if you're getting beat with crossers, posts, slants, or really any sort of routes that break over the middle of the field? In this case, you're going to want to actually shade your coverage to the inside. You still would be better off shading underneath first and then inside afterwards, and you'll notice a big difference in the way the coverage plays. You'll see we are literally stride for stride with these receivers playing perfect coverage for the interception. So now you're probably wondering, hey, what do I do if the offense is running in play with routes that break both to the inside and to the outside? Well, that leads me to tip number 2, which is how to individually shade your coverage. So there's global and there's individual shading. Global is what we did in the first tip, where we shaded our entire defense a certain way. Individual shading is how to shade just one defender a certain way. And again, that's something that 9 out of 10 players don't know, is you can globally and individually shade. So let's say that the majority of the routes are breaking to the inside. Well, still, we're going to want to first shade our coverage underneath by hitting coverage audible triangle Y, and then down on the right stick, and hitting coverage audible again, and then to the left on the right stick, which shades to the inside. This just shaded our entire coverage down and to the inside. But at this point, what if there's one player that they're consistently sending on a route to the outside. Like, what if they're running a bunch of inside routes, but I'm noticing they're doing a tight end corner route? If you want to get better at college football 25 and win more games, check out my college football VIP membership on sportsgamerz.com. Put the link to order in the comments and the description. You will get access to all the content I release for college football all year long, including the best offense in the game, the best defense in the game, my secret A-gap blitzes, my rollout glitch, my run defense, and my pass defense, and much more. Let's dominate together, boys. So we can easily counter this. I have currently my entire defense shaded to the inside and underneath, but I can now individually shade the tight end corner out while keeping everybody else down into the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the coverage audible. Again, that's triangle Y. And this time we're going to hit the button for the individual adjustments, and as you can see, that is X. Now once the individual adjustments pop up, you can then hit the icon of the player you want to individually shade. In this case, that is X. So I want to shade that tight end individually. I hit his icon, X. Now, once you do this, you guys can see that I have the option to individually back off, press, shade left, or shade right. Now, if he's running an out-breaking route, like a corner, in this case, we'd shade him right. And you'll notice now, if we go ahead and run this play, we'll get everybody on the trips, basically everybody but the tight end, shaded inside, but then the tight end is shaded to the outside, leading to perfect coverage. So if you take a look at the replay here, all the receivers we shaded to the inside are getting jammed and played to the inside. These posts are not getting open. However, if you go ahead and look at the tight end, you'll notice we shaded him to the outside, and his technique is being played to the outside shoulder. So you'll see when he breaks to this corner route, the DB is literally stuck on his outside shoulder, and he's running the corner route for him. We're able to easily get a broken up pass here, potentially an interception. So now that you know the secrets of shading, let me break down the best types of man coverage to use and when to use each one. First, we have cover 2 man. Cover 2 man is the coverage I've been running so far in this video, where you have the safeties over the top. This is going to be a very versatile defense because you can literally shade any way because you're not really worried about getting beat over the top. Now, typically cover 2 man is not going to have any crazy blitzes because you have the majority of your players in coverage. However, there are ways to blitz from it. But with that said, this is the best coverage to shade from, in my opinion, because it allows you to shade underneath to get that aggressive coverage and then shade inside or out to really sit on key routes. Other type of very effective man coverage you need to know about is cover 0. Cover 0 are going to be generally heavy blitzes that are designed to bring pressure, but everybody's going to be manned up. There's no help over the top because you have extra blitzers. Now, with this defense, you'll get better pressure, but you can't get aggressive shading. You can't shade your coverage underneath because you don't have the protection deep. So really what you're going to want to do is limit yourself to shading in or out when you're in cover 0. Never shade underneath. And I actually prefer, as you guys can see here, to keep my DBs backed up instead of pressing them.